Hello guys, welcome back to Chris Poly channel. This video I want to share about Global Lab update for 17 November 2023 maintenance update. But be noticed, all content on this Global Lab video was recorded on Global Lab server, so this is all content that will update on our live server in future, and mostly all this update will implement on Korea live server next week maintenance update, and following outside Korea server if they already feel this content already ready to release outside Korea server globally. Okay, to enjoy watch my video, make sure you turn on this video subtitle, and also you can use timestamp that I already provide to go to target topic that you want. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on bell notification to get any update and guide on Black Desert World. Okay, let's start this video content using any feature that I provide. Okay, this is official website from Global Lab update at 17 November 2023. First feature update that they announced on this week Global Lab update is second update for buffing any class on Black Desert World. But on the second update buff, most of this is about attack range for some class and also adjusting skill damage, especially buff for PvE content. And first class that got buff is Sorcerer's class. For Sorcerer's main weapon skill, they just increase PvE damage for this 4 skill, but take notice PvP damage still nearly same because they also increasing PvP damage reduction rate for all this skill. And for Sorcerer's Awakening, they just fix some issue for this skill. And for another skill, they just change this attack speed animation to become more faster than before, especially interval between hit when you attacking using this skill. And this is table list for Sorcerer's Awakening skill that got PvE damage buff, but same as before, PvP damage still same because they increasing PvP damage reduction rate for all this skill. Okay, next class that got buff is Tamer class. First for Tamer main weapon and Succession, that they just increase attack range for this skill compared than before, and this increase attack range also for its prime skill. And as you can see on this screen, this is before and after they buff this prime attack range skill for Tamer Succession. And for another Tamer Succession skill, this prime skill also got increased this attack range for first hit, but instead that they just remove final hit from this skill and they just adjust damage for this skill. I think total damage for this skill is not different. And for any Tamer Succession skill that got PvE buff, this is the list. That they just buff 9 skill for Tamer Succession for its PvE damage, but PvP damage still nearly same because they also increasing PvP damage reduction rate for all this skill. Okay, next for Tamer Awakening, they also just increasing attack range for this Tamer Awakening skill. And as you can see on this screen, this is how it's look for this increasing attack range for this Tamer Awakening. And for another Tamer Awakening skill, they just change attack range for this skill to become your character move forward based on position of your character. And they also just fix some issue for this flow skill. And next for Mehwa class, especially for Mehwa Succession, they just change attack range for these 2 skill to become move forward depend on your character position. And for another skill, they also just increasing attack range for this skill, and they also just remove stamina consumption when using this skill. And when you using prime type for this skill, and this skill still on cooldown, combo for this flow skill will not activate. And next class that got buff is Valkyrie class. And this is for Valkyrie Succession. For this flow skill, they just increase attack range for this prime skill. And this is detail animation for this skill before and after change. Okay, next class that got buff is Kunoichi class. For Kunoichi Succession, they just fix some issue for this skill, and they also just adjust attack range for this flow skill to become have same attack range for its hit. And for another flow skill, this prime type of this skill cooldown will be reduced from 9 seconds to become 8 seconds. And they also adjust hit for this skill, including hits during cooldown. And for this prime skill, they just fix some skill description for this skill. And this is table PvE damage buff for any Kunoichi Succession skill, but take notice PvP damage for all this skill still nearly same because they also increasing PvP damage reduction rate for all this skill. And next for Ninja class, especially for Ninja Succession. First, for this flow skill, they just fix some issue for attack range for this flow skill, and also another flow skill, they also just adjust this attack range to become have same attack range with another hit, and they also just fix some issue for this floating skill. And next class that got buff is for Wizard and Witch, especially for its Succession. First, they just fix attack range for this prime skill that previously have smaller range than its effect, and then any Succession skill for Witch and Wizard also will got buff its damage following on this table. But take notice PvP damage still nearly same because they also increasing PvP damage reduction rate for all this skill. And next, special for Wizard Awakening, some of Wizard skill just got nerf, and this is for skill for Wizard class that got PvE damage nerf. And about PvP damage, I think PvP damage still nearly same because they also reducing PvP damage reduction rate for all this skill. Okay, next class that got changed is Dark Knight class. Sadly on this week, Dark Knight class just got nerf for its PvE damage. As you can see on this table list, this is any skill for Dark Knight class that got reducing PvE damage. But I think PvP damage for all these skills still nearly same because they also reducing PvP damage reduction rate for all this skill. Okay, next class that got changed is Striker class, especially for Striker Succession, and they just increase Striker Succession skill, especially for this flow skill, as shown on the skill animation on this screen. And they also just increasing attack range for this 3 skill, and attack range for this 3 skill will become unify following the largest range when hitting using this skill. And next for Mystic class, especially for Mystic Succession, they also just increasing attack range for this skill, especially for its prime type. And Mystic class also got PvE damage buff following on this table that they just buff its skill for Mystic Succession skill. But take notice PvP damage still nearly same because they also increasing PvP damage reduction rate for all this skill. And next for Mystic Awakening, they just fix some issue for this skill description, and this is table list for any skill for Mystic Awakening that got PvE buff. And same as before, PvP damage still nearly same because they also increasing PvP damage reduction rate for all this skill. And next class that got changed is Land Succession. For Land Succession, actually this is bit nerf, other than just fix some attack range for this flow skill. For this week, Land Succession just got PvE damage nerf for this 3 skill. As you can see, PvE damage for this 3 skill just got reduced, but I think PvP damage still nearly same because they also reducing PvP damage reduction rate for all these 3 skill. But for Land Awakening, they just give some buff for Land Awakening that they just increase buff for all AP when using this skill, previously plus 10 for 10 seconds to become plus 16 for 10 seconds. And this is Land Awakening skill that got PvE damage buff. There are 4 skills that got PvE damage buff, but I think PvP damage still nearly same because they also increasing PvP damage reduction rate for all this skill. And next for Megu class, for this week Megu just got some minor fix for this skill effect. Okay, that's all any class balancing for this week. And if you want to read more detail, you can check translated website on this video description. And I think for any other class, they also will update it on next week Global Lab update. So stay tuned on Chris Poly channel. And next about future content of Black Desert World. First about War of the Roses. Previously, Pribis just released second pre-season for this War of the Roses at Sunday, 12 November 2023 on Korea server. And after further inspection from this second pre-season, they just make some balancing and change for this War of the Roses. And they will do third pre-season for this War of the Roses at 26 November 2023 on Korea server. And this is any change for this War of the Roses, either they nerfing any effect for Sanctuary on this War of the Roses, reducing number of gold tank that can be used on this War of the Roses, and any other change. I think all of this will implement to our live server instantly in future. And next about Arena of Solare, that they just add new mode for Arena of Solare, so you can do practice match and custom game match for this Arena of Solare anytime. And the good news, there are no spared rewards between custom game, so you can earn some profit when enjoying PvP content from this Arena of Solare. So by this update, you can play Arena of Solare anytime for practice mode and custom mode, but they still do seasonal content for this Arena of Solare, especially for rank match. And for Arena of Solare practice match, there are 6 battlefields that can be entered by random, and this is the list for this Arena of Solare battlefield. And they also just add reward for this practice match that you can get this Solare token, either you victory, draw, or defeat it, that you can exchange this token to become any item on this list. And the good news, you can get weapon exchange coupon from this Arena of Solare content, but this exchange only can be done one time per account and require huge amount of Solare token for each weapon exchange coupon. And they also adjusting any equipment and crystal from this Arena of Solare following on this table. And about Arena of Solare custom match, this is how it's look for this user interface for this custom match, that you can setting everything on this custom match, either inviting specific player and also choosing any battlefield from this custom match Arena of Solare. But take notice, spectating function still not there, and they will add it in future. Okay, next future content related with Lightning Talk with Per Abyss at 11 November 2023. That they just start to implementing any change from previous Lightning Talk. First about sellable Karanda Heart and Kutum Heart on Central Market. So in future you can sell any Karanda Heart and Kutum Heart to Central Market, and this is the tail price for both of these items. And each Karanda Heart and Kutum Heart will have the lowest price 50 million silver. And when this update come, starting price for this Karanda and Kutum Heart is 100 million silver. And the maximum price for this Karanda and Kutum Heart is 500 million silver. So what do you think for this Kutum and Karanda Heart? Do you feel this price is fair or not? Just comment on this video comment section. And next, they also will adjust Central Market purchase quantity in future. And there are 1,283 items that will adjust its purchase quantity. First, for any item on this list, in future, if all these items have registered more than 1,000 pieces, you can purchase it directly 500 pieces at once. And for any item on this table, if all these items registered more than 2,000 pieces, you can purchase it directly 1,000 pieces at once. And for any Capra-stone, food, elixir, and any cooking ingredient, if there are registered 4,000 pieces, you can directly purchase 2,000 pieces at once. And for any other material, and also Blackstone armor and weapon, if there are registered on Central Market more than 6,000 pieces, you can purchase it directly 3,000 pieces at once. And for any gathering material, any kind of corp, any kind of processing material, and also any other rare item from gathering, if there are registered on Central Market more than 10,000 pieces, you can purchase it directly 5,000 pieces at once. And next, about Boss Lantern Aura Exchange. In future, they will unify NPC to exchange Boss Lantern Aura that you get from defeating any boss on Black Desert World. And in future, you can exchange Boss Lantern Aura to any blacksmith NPC on any major city following on this list. So you didn't need to go to specific NPC like we have previously. And the more good news, you also can exchange boss gear equipment without any limit, and require Boss Lantern Aura still same, you need 100 pieces to exchange it to become boss gear for specific Boss Lantern Aura. Because previously to exchange this boss gear, this is only can be done one time per account in form of quest. But in future, you can exchange it without any limit as long you have this Boss Lantern Aura 100 pieces. So in future, if you have huge amount of this Boss Lantern Aura, other than you can exchange it to become memory fragment without any limit, you also can exchange this Boss Lantern Aura to become any kind of boss gear without any limit, 100 pieces for each boss gear from Blacksmith NPC. And then since 15 November 2023 maintenance update, they just released new farming outfit and prevents, as I show you on this video about event recap at 15 November 2023, that I show you this prevents, you can exchange it to Claw NPC if your character have Master 1 or higher to get smaller appearance fans. And in future, this Fans of Abundance that you can exchange it to Claw NPC, you can re-exchange it again to become first form for this Fence of Abundance. And same as before, to re-exchange it, you just need to hand over it to Claw NPC at Velia City. And next, about Black Shrine content. In future, they will improve precise hit for all these Black Shrine boss to become follow as its skill effect, and special for Golden Picking. Other, they will improve precise hit for this Golden Picking. They also just consolidate damage for this Golden Picking for its level 33 until 63% damage compared than previous level. And they also just fix some issue for this Golden Picking attack pattern to become more precise its attack timing compared than before. And also attack range for Swing Sword with Fire in front of this Golden Picking will be reduced and adjust to become more accurate with its skill effect. Okay, next, some change for Void Mareta Special C content that first time pre-abyss announced on last Global Lab update at 10 November 2023 when they mentioning about Void Mareta new sea monster. And after they implement this Void Mareta on Korea server, they just adjust spawn time for this Void Mareta that previously 1 until 5 hour to become 1 hour only after this Void Mareta defeated, so more player can encounter this Void Mareta in future. And also notification for this Void Mareta that only will appear for nearby player just change from 15 seconds to become 5 seconds. And I think this Void Mareta update will come to our live server outside Korea next week. And for sure I will cover some review for encountering this Void Mareta after this content released to our live server. So stay tuned on Chris Poly channel. And then about Lara Daily Quest. They will change this Lara Daily Quest to become weekly quest. So this is will reduce burden to do this Lara Daily Quest in future, but reward for this daily quest just accumulate to become weekly quest, so you will get 7 times for this reward from this new Lara weekly quest. And next, they also just change some appearance for Snowy Cedar Tree, so you can distinguish this Snow Cedar Tree with another type of tree on Mountain of Eternal Winter region. And next, about user interface. In future, they will add feature to give some notes for skill cooldown user interface, so you can set any name to mark skill cooldown on your custom user interface. And this is how it's look for this little note that will shown at below of this skill cooldown if you already customize it. And you can freely read down any note for its skill icon cooldown. And next, about Black Spirit Adventures. In future, they will add automatic roll dice. So in future, you can AFK when playing this Black Spirit Adventures continuously because you can use automatic roll dice in future. And I think this is huge quality of life, especially for any player who already stuck this dice for Black Spirit Adventures, because if you play it manually, this will take a lot of time to play this Black Spirit Adventures, and in future you just need to activate this automatic roll dice function and leave this Black Spirit Adventures open when you AFK. And next, for skill guide for new player, they also just improve this user interface to become shown some cooldown by adding some ghost bar for this user interface. And also for gathering minigame, they just reduce difficulty for this gathering minigame, especially when you gathering using Ho. That they will remove animation closing window for this minigame, that previously this minigame will slide when starting this minigame. So you can compare before and after more easy than before without interruption with this closing window animation. And for any other fix and change, I think all of this not too a big deal. Okay, that's all future update of Black Desert World that pre-abyss already announced at 17 November 2023. And special thanks to all my membership for direct support via Patreon, Karya Karsa, and YouTube membership. Welcoming new membership Bourbon Crow as gold member, and YouTube super thanks from Mario Working. And also my current member Dubiadut, Doki, Angel, Ayrton, Snot, Soren, Afrilka, Elfamilia, Drunken Video, Jeff as gold member. And also for all my silver and bronze member, thank you so much for all your direct support. This will make Chris Poly channel running and growing more faster. If you want to support me directly, I will very grateful. And as special thanks, I will put your name on my video depend on your support level. And be noticed at some level there are have some limit, so make sure you didn't get run out for this limited space. And I will put your name on every subsequent video that I release for the duration of your support. And if you want to join my membership to support me directly, you can go to any platform for Patreon, Karya Karsa, and YouTube membership. I already put link for this membership on this video description, or you can check on top right of this video. I already put card for Patreon link. If you like this video, you can like and subscribe to my channel for another guide and update. Thank you for watching. See you next time.